So I figured out I'm not level. I'm a little sideways. You know, sometimes it gets better than others, though. I don't know if it's Sundays or is it... I think it's the time change is going to help me get a little better. More sunshine and golf. There we go. So I'm just trying to see if we had this thing together and we were level-headed, then I wouldn't have to have this conversation. Then there wouldn't be anything between you and God, correct? Everything would be, I love God as much as He loves me. But we're not like that. And we don't want to be in a place where God's got to take care of us. So we know that. So here's the verse that goes with the other verses is trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not into your understanding. Not to your own understanding. Do you know how much understanding you have? This is us. Not a whole lot of understanding. In all your ways submit to Him and He will make your path straight. So He'll level you out if you trust Him. He'll level you out. Now that's the hard part. So He's saying, we're going back to that, no other gods before you, before Him. So He's asking you to trust again. Here we go back to that one thing. Do you actually trust Him? That was that thing we just talked about. And so I don't know how much trust we have. I think when things are good, we love God. We really do, and He loves me. I think this is the hardest part because we've grown up in religion rather than relationship, and we believe if something goes wrong, God's mad. Well, I can tell you right now something's going to go wrong, but He's not mad. He's already taken care of the mad part through Jesus Christ. He's already forgiven you. There's no condemnation for those in Christ. You know that verse I missed? That's that verse. That's your verse. So He's asking you to trust. And so here's what, and not to lean. And this is the hardest part when it comes to this. And when you talk about the Hebrew, when all this is in there, there is a lean that happens. And what He's saying is when you lean, it's saying, I trust something else, whether it be a physical object, usually something. The thing we do the most is the money. We trust God, we don't trust God, and we start leaning the wrong way. He's asking you to lean. Here's the opposite of that. Lean into Him. That's the opposite of what we're talking about, is leaning away. So He's saying that most of you, we come in unlevel, we don't have a level head, and so we start leaning on other things and we get in trouble instead of leaning on Him. Remember, He's always thinking of you. When you get up in the morning, He's waiting on you. When you get up in the morning, He's waiting. So let me show you what I'm talking about, because this is interesting with Him. So trust Him. He said, watch this, own understanding. What's the cost? What is the cost when you do your own thing? Now, we know what's right, most of us, but we still do the wrong thing. So what is the cost of that? You want to see what the cost was when the people in the Bible leaned their own way. When they started leaning their own way, then something happened. And here's what I think that you need to take away from this. It's not just you when you lean to your own understanding. Other people are involved too. Other people get it too. It's just not you. It would be nice. It would be really nice if we could just create our own mess and stay in it and it not affect anybody. That's what we want. But that's not what happened. And it didn't happen for you. The reason you are where you are and the reason you're not level-headed and the reason you have a hard time trusting God is because somebody else screwed up. Somebody else screwed up. And they had it made. They had it made. And the cost of that was us. Let's talk about it. Adam and Eve, they had it made. They had it made. Listen, you live in paradise. You don't have to do anything. You don't even have to buy clothes. You don't need them. So you're in paradise. And you have God walking in and talking to you every day. Was that cool? He has coffee with you. That's cool. And so He's there, paradise, everything is going well. He said, I just don't want you to mess with one of these trees, the tree of good and evil. I just want you to stay away from that. You know what he was doing? It's what he does with all of us. What do you love? Who do you love? So he's asking the question. But you know what they did? They leaned. They leaned to their own understanding. And guess what happened? You and I paid the price. The whole human race paid the price because of what happened. They got kicked out of the garden. But you think, well, that's terrible. No, that's just not the only thing that happened. We were all born into sin, and now we're not level at all. I think it'd be, I think it's strange. We think, I think I'm level. And the most of y'all are not. That's how you think, isn't it? So you'll think that way about your family. I'm level, my family's crazy. My family thinks I'm crazy. But I'm level, right? You see how this works? So we don't know what's level and then God comes in and says, here's what you got to do. Here's what I'm asking you. Here's what I'm asking you. And then we had this Adam and Eve thing now messed everything up. And listen, Abraham and Sarah, Isaac and Ishmael, how did this affect us today? Hold on. You're not going to believe it. So here's the story real quick. So God tells Abraham he's going to be the father of a nation. They're really old. This is just like God. So here we got Abraham. Let's think about it. So we have Abraham and we have Sarah. God sends an angel, you're going to be the father of a nation. And he says, I'm really old. But that's how God works. He does miracle stuff. So he does stuff. So here we go. Here's what happened. We're going to lean now. We're going to lean. So Abraham is going to lean. And he's going to help. So he leans in, ends up with Hagar, ends up having a child with the handmaiden. This does not sound like God's plan. But he had a child with Hagar in order to help him out. I want to help God out. We got to have a baby. So now we're going to have a baby. And then lo and behold, Sarah gets pregnant and she has a child named Isaac. And then we have Ishmael over here. And you say, what's the problem? You see it every day on the news. Every day on the news, you see this problem. This is why everybody hates Israel. And all the Arabs and all the people trying to blow up Israel and everybody trying to hate Israel, Ishmael. Because Abraham decided he was going to lean in and do what he wanted to do. And he leaned right in. And you say, does it really matter what I do? Yes. It matters. And so God told them the plan. God's told you the plan. Can I trust the plan? Yes. But will you? That was the problem here. Everybody leaning their own way. We're doing their own thing. He's going to be waiting on you when you get home. He's going to be waiting on you when you get up because he's thinking about you. Are you thinking about him? And can you trust him? If you trust him, then your life changes. Your life changes if you trust him.